welcome to Iron Realm Media's Have No Fear. My name is Josh Corey. We've got a huge show planned for you tonight. A whole new perspective on Flat Earth, maybe? But we got a full house. Stick around, everybody. It's going to be a great show. A whole new perspective. So dig that.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode right here, another Friday edition of Have No Fear. My name is Josh Corey. We've got John and Adam and Zach and Walt. Let's jump right in with some howdy do's with the man down in Florida, even further south than Walter these days, Zachary Too Nice for Rice, the nomad Zabala, or good times for all if you prefer. Zach, how's your week been?
Oh, it has been very eventful. I put some miles on the truck, went from looking at California now to looking at the Gulf south of Tampa. So it was an interesting trip. Got to hang out with one of my good buddies, and Mr. Walter Johnson, for just a short visit. I know it wasn't long enough. Next time it'll be longer.
It's never long enough, my friend. You could stay forever. I love it when you're here.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, but it's been awesome. Getting here was great. Right now I'm standing in the future garden, just kind of eyeballing it, laying things out. I don't know. I got to watch the sun a little bit, see how these trees work, where the shade hits and all that kind of good stuff, where we're going to be planting what and all that. But yeah, it's definitely got some promise. I'm excited. It's a nice big yard, all kinds of potential. Yeah. So I'm excited. I get to start teaching again, people that actually want to learn this stuff. So, and then I get to learn, another trade during the day. So it's going to be awesome. This is going to be fun. Good winter for sure.
That's awesome. That's what life's all about, isn't it? Learning and teaching and learning. Yep. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of the man's house that you just left, looks like he's wearing some sort of Instagram filter, some sort of Snapchat thing going on. Threw me off when I first saw him up there on my screen. One Mr. Walter Johnson, Flat Earth Head there on YouTube. What's up, Walt?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hello, Josh, John, Adam, Zach. I miss you already. Hug Hank for me. Man. I hope you're having a good time down there. I hope it's warmer because it got colder here after you left. Did you finally find you some sun?
Oh, yeah, 74 degrees.
Oh, my God. That is so awesome. Dude, that's summer. Oh, that's crazy. Awesome.
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
We went down into, I think, around the top of the 50. Top of the 40s, mid 50s. It was cold last night for sure. But, hey, that's what happens when you live on a plane with a default setting of burr. No, this is my little Apollo Christmas Saturn. I don't know what the hell it is. I like bizarre, crazy, Christmassy crap still.
You're holding a big coffee cup above your head.
Is that what it is? Where's mine? Wait.
There you go.
Give me you're tired, you're sleepy, you're gritty-eyed, you didn't get enough nap. Oh, the teeming masses.
Yeah.
We had a great show this morning over there on TFR. If you missed it, you should have been there. What are you doing? I know it's early, but we can do it. We can do it. You can do it. I know
All
you
you
can't.
can do is show up and listen. It's not like you necessarily have to contribute, though there is a live chat that you're more than
Live,
in which to participate.
live, all the way live. It is awesome, and we love it. And the more, the merrier. Some days it gets really crazy and pretty much takes over the show, and that's where the show goes, and that's what's awesome. It's an organic beast. Well, let's say hello to the other gentleman there across the plane. He wasn't there this morning, darn it, but he got to hang out with us a little bit last Friday with Martin Liedtke, the man, that Adam. That Adam, how are you, my friend?
I genuinely thought my intro link there was going to be Organic Beast. But
We have the man living the bachelor life. He gets Organic Beast title.
That's it. If anybody gets it this week, it'll be John.
He's not going to have an excuse next week for not listening in, as far as I can see. But I will
get him on the
qualify
show.
mine.
That's it. We should get him on the show Tuesday.
Yeah. There's no
Ooh,
reason.
that would be a hell of a guest. That would be awesome. It's done. It is done.
Booked. I'll confirm the booking. I'll act as his agent and just confirm the booking. But I'll give you my excuse. I was out, guys. It's obviously festive time, and it's coming up to the Christmas party, which we like to throw every year. And I always like to try and put a free bar on. And last year's was stupid. So we've convinced the restaurant to let us buy our own booze this year. So I was getting all sort. Me and Marie were getting admiring looks and comments as we went round with 2 trolleys, filling it up with as much booze for about 30 odd people tomorrow. So looking forward to a good night. So it's a good reason why I weren't there, and I will catch up. I assure you. So.
Well, when shopping must be done, I guess that's a good way to do it.
Well, funny, mate, honestly.
But you just had to feel like a king walking through I'll have one of these, and I'll have 2 of those. Those and one of those, one of those, those. I think it's all. I want it all. They're all going to just.
Yeah, it was good fun, mate. 3 bottles of that, 3 bottles of this. I'll mix it up by having different vodkas, just so I don't look.
You just buy 1 vodka in a great big bottle, and all the really expensive vodka in the little bitty bottles, and you just fill them up as you go throughout the night with the cheap vodka. I'm telling you, by the 3rd round, nobody's going to know the difference.
So you run a bar, have you?
Well, actually, here's a little hack for the vodka drinkers out there. If you buy yourself a Brita water filter, and you take the cheapest, nastiest $8 bottle of vodka you can find, and you pour it through your Brita water filter 2, 3, 4 times, that is going to come out the smoothest, cleanest, crispest vodka that you could buy, top shelf out there. So there's a little bartending hack for you.
Dude, where were you like 10 years ago when I was like the vodka man, hunting down the smooth, crystal clean, clear, tasty? Oh, this is crisp. Oh, this is potatoes. Oh, this is, where were you? Oh, man.
I did buy it's called bison grass. Don't know what it is. It had had a picture of a bison on the front and then a piece of grass in the bottle. So I'm thinking, got to be good. It's Polish. It's got to be good. Is it like a Polish tequila worm where they put a bit of grass in? So I'll tell you next week what that's like.
I don't know. Something just doesn't feel sanitary here. They're calling it bison grass, and they're including some grass in with there. What's going to make that grass particularly bison? Only a couple things I can think of. Either way, I'm not going to be one to drinking it, no matter how much alcohol it's been sitting in.
I'll report back, pal.
And finally, for our guest this coming up week on Ironworks on Truth Frequency Radio, this next week on Tuesday morning, check him out live for a first appearance ever. One Mr. John Savage, living at home, doing whatever the hell he wants, sitting around in his underpants. If we're lucky, he's got underpants on, but probably nothing else.
You were talking about me, were you, on the show? Yeah, one thing about having the house to myself is that I certainly won't be getting up before 12 o'clock any day soon.
God dear. Talking about ginger wigs, have you got a ginger Meakin then for when you're sitting around on your
What's
own?
a Meakin? I'm not on my own. I've got the mutt.
Walt got it.
I don't know what a ginger Meakin is, so...
Because my name's Meakin, you can imagine that I am well aware of what a Meakin is. It's basically a pubic wig.
Okay.
Meakin the Merkin. Oh my God. That is awesome.
Wig.
That is epic. Epic.
Well, that didn't take long to dive into the gutter there, did it? That's, yeah, but
That's a straight nosedive kamikaze straight to the gut.
yeah. But for anyone who doesn't know out there, and that includes just about everyone, yeah, what we're talking about is my family has disappeared for 3 weeks over Christmas and left me to it. So I think this is the first time actually that I'm actually coming to you live from my living room. So I'm surrounded by screens and computers and stereos and the dog, and I'm warm for once. And yes, it's just very, very strange. And I'm smoking too, which is, I think, the second time this year. But I had a bit of a shocker earlier as the wife rang up and said, it's absolute disaster. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what? And her travel agent had gone bust, the people who'd done the tickets, and behind the scenes they'd rearranged a new flight time, but she never got that memo, and the flight left yesterday, so so she's stranded there with 2 kids and nowhere to go. And yeah, so I was thinking, well,
I'm smoking a cigarette. Think, oh, that sucks. You're not coming home early, are you?
that's exactly what I was thinking. I thought, oh crap, now I'm going to have to drive up there 3 hours with a howling dog in the boot and drive back with a 3-hour howling dog and kids and wife. And yeah,
I thought it was all the tech you were going to have to put back in the battle bus, John. It was
that was surprisingly easy, actually. Yeah, but no, it was the thought of well, no, I would happily have them back for Christmas, but and the dog certainly would. But no, it was a right pain in the ass. So they've had to fork out for new tickets and to Australia. So yeah, oof, ouch. Our budget took an absolute kick in the nuts today. That's for sure.
Before we get too far into things, I just want to give a quick shout out to Billy Ray Valentine, who I know is listening and popped into chat. Our good friend Liz is also in chat.
Absolutely.
And we are waking up also in chat. So hello, welcome.
Great.
Spending your Friday with us.
Yeah, I was a little like going, what's happening? Did we not have a notice up? Are we not notifications are being hidden? What's going on? Where is everybody? But then I found out where they were as I explored YouTube a bit. Apparently somebody's having a discussion live at the moment. So yeah, but we appreciate you guys being here. You just don't have a clue. Thank you.
That's okay.
Liz snuck in on Quantum. I forgot that was her on YouTube.
Who's having a debate? Come on, tell us.
I'm not going to advertise for the competition.
Oh, I was going to go and watch that.
Couldn't
I
even
knew
get
that. I knew you would go away. John's leaving the show to go watch the debate.
No, I'll still be on the show. I'll just have my other headphones on as well, and I'll be typing away in chat.
Yeah, he can't interact with our chat, but he's headed out.
He's headed out.
because he's got his 3 screens. He's set up. He's ready to multitask.
Right.
I need 6 hands now.
Set up. Hey, they broke the CRISPR code. Apparently, we didn't read the story this morning, but we have the story. The CRISPR code has been broken, John. So you might be able to get those 6 hands with a little.
Oh, right. I've seen that. They're building genetically engineered babies now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to farm the beef, and it's going to be just a new genetic world for us. Woo!
They made two adult, there's two humans though, didn't they? And they called them, oh God, damn, I can't remember. I heard it earlier in the week, and they're like really symbolic names.
Venus
oh,
and
they say again.
Venus and Serena.
No, it was straight out of Sitchin. It was Lulu. And what's the other one? Anna, Lulu, and
Straight up Anunnaki. And
it was,
Spooky,
you know, the
yeah.
Anunnaki created genetically, or apparently according to Sitchin's horseshit, they created genetically a slave race to do their work for them, yeah? And that race they called Lulu. So this first genetically tampered soul or thing is called Lulu. So whoever's behind all that.
Been watching too much History Channel, Discovery Channel. Too much effing It's Aliens.
I can't remember where I heard all of that.
It don't have to be aliens. It could just be the controllers from the outer realm that showed up and decided to be our gods.
I got a pondering question. It comes out of Mudflood in terms of genetic mutation. Okay, so if, for example, there was a period in time where your ingestion consisted mainly of human flesh, how would that mess around with the gene pool? Because there's a lot of talk and pictures and evidence in a lot of these lead atlases where it appears to be, whilst history would like to paint that the British explorers and the East India Company discovered these cannibalistic tribes, it appears that they were going over there and eating them. At least them as well. I just wondered, if you talk about genetic messing around and confusing, I think that's written in the Bible as well, isn't it? There's stuff about it's good for the lion to eat a man, but not for a man to eat a lion or something, in terms of...
There's a reason why I ask Zach about everyone he meets, whether to make sure that they don't eat people.
I appreciate that, John.
Just a good rule of thumb, I think.
But worth double checking when you're on the road. It seems to be a theme at the moment, doesn't it? There's a lot of films about eating people.
I invite you, for the next 5 new people that you meet in your life, go ahead and ask them. Double check with them and see what it's like. Just to be safe.
That would take me a year to meet.
You just thought they were looking at you like you had a horn growing out of your head when you started talking flat Earth.
Cool. Don't talk about flat Earth. Number one rule.
Wrong. Totally cool if you do. Right? I got no issues. I just want to make sure. Do you eat people?
Every conversation should go that way these days.
It's that way.
It's a bit like, I don't think you should have to ask. I think it's a bit like if you're dating somebody and they're transgender, it's reasonable to assume after a small amount of time you would point it out, you know.
Well, I
Do
think
you want
after
a lift?
point of time
Yes.
you're dating somebody, you're going to find yourself in a situation that you're going to be either chewed upon when you're least expecting it, when you're most vulnerable. Maybe you're already down there eating anyway. Maybe you just bite a little harder than you would have normally.
What about old Finkelstein?
Can we rewind and start this show over?
What about old Finkelstein? What about the question should be, do you knowingly eat people? Because I imagine anyone who goes to Burger King or McDonald's probably may not know. I'll leave it there before the lawsuit comes in.
Purposely. Do you purposely?
We're not here next week. You'll know what happened.
You eat people with intent.
Anyway, we do have a show this week, don't we?
We do.
Well,
we do.
We've
Have
yet
we
to
got rid
decide
of all
on
the
that, haven't we?
Muppets?
Did we decide whether Zach was going to present or we were just going to ramble tonight?
When you're on the road, you have to be careful how you present as well. So,
I ramble every week.
Well, yeah. Oh, well. As well as ramble.
We've done nothing but ramble tonight. So.
Been going for 20 minutes and it's been ramble galore.
20 minutes. That's usually the threshold for ballers, isn't it? To bugger off. With our rambling, they're really not interested. Well, actually, flat earthers too, probably.
I'm sure they're all over at the debate, giving their 5 cents worth.
What debate?
Somebody's having a conversation
What?
with a globe believer. I mean,
That's all right. Most of our listens come from downloads. No one's going to go anywhere. No one's there anyway. They're just leaving the page open.
You're right there, right? And
Let's do a show.
No, before I forget, you won't listen to this show till tomorrow when you walk the dog, and neither will, I think, the first person in chat, West Coast Wisdom, either. So
There you go.
good morning, Jean, as well to her. So,
And the rest have just got it on mute with the window open, showing their support, and we appreciate that
We
support.
love
I'm
it.
used to West Coast Wisdom. Come in, say hello, go to bed,
And go to
and
bed.
then listen to us in the
That's how
morning.
it started. We appreciate it.
Listen
We'll
to
see
you
in the morning.
breakfast.
Sounds like me.
Good morning.
See, I've missed
All right,
that.
here we go. A little morning for you.
Missed it.
That sounds like me. Come in, say hello, and then fall asleep.
That's
For the
me.
Mystery Science Theater of Flat Earth, we soothe our listeners into a calm sleep.
And I made it till 44. There was like 10 minutes to go. So. And I saw the clock. I can't lay down. As soon as I lay down, man, I just fall asleep. It's weird. I have to stay upright. If I don't stay upright, I'm out. As soon as the commercial comes rolling around, it's like heavy eyes.
I'll just tune my brain out for just a second.
Beta waving you, isn't it?
Rest in my eyes, like my mom used to do. Are you sleeping? No, I'm just resting my eyes. Oh man.
Well, time to rest them no more.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day.
There, now you're awake.
You know,
That's fair.
my feed has the Skype cameras on it. Yeah, that'll be
What, you
coming
think-
out sometime this week.
You think I care if people see me dancing around here in my chair? I dance around down here in my chair during the breaks on TFR, during gravity, on a Friday. I'm down here dancing all the time. I don't care.
One day I'm going to forget to mute my mic, and you'll have an interesting little singing bit there as well.
I think that's happened several times, isn't it?
Most likely. I do have a bit of the musical Tourette's.
Adam, come on, move us on.
Well, but before we move on to anything, I do want to give a shout out and maybe just play his video. It's only like 2 or 3 minutes. Dave Mannon, who is giving a talk on the 27th of December at the Vanbrugh or Vanberg pub in London. So I wanted to give him a shout out. It's Truth Talks. There's an open mic, all sorts of bits and bobs. So get yourself down there. I think if you're anywhere near London, it'd be quite good. And apparently there's a little bit of free toothpaste going around. Promote fluoride free.
Stop being bashful. Adam's donated a shit ton of toothpaste.
There's a bit there, yeah. And then, so give me a second and I'll just like I say, if you give it 3 minutes, there's just a little bit of Dave describing it a shed load better than I'm badly doing as I try to find the screen. Bear with.
What, you're going to play his video, eh?
If you don't mind, because I do
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
no,
worth
go.
a shout out. It's one of these on the ground things that I do think's worth
Yeah, absolutely.
giving a promotion to, and people having a look
Switching
at.
my screen.
There, I've got it. Just give me one more second.
One.
Oh yeah.
Can I just say, while you're doing that, just to fill a little space, my new boss at work is like woke as fuck, which is really cool. We spent
Really?
some time talking today. Yeah, just
Right?
chill,
That's
talk.
awesome.
On what sort of aspects?
Well,
Like
he just-
9/11 or Flat Earth?
Well, I don't know if he's necessarily so far into flat Earth. I don't think he's really gotten down that far,
Mhm.
but he's pretty far down there. He was going off on the need for humans to have money and the whole sort of. I was digging on his vibe the whole time. I thought it was really cool. So he invited me over to his house this weekend. We'll enjoy some flowers and get a little conspiratorial. So I thought that was really cool.
Sounds like he's trying to cut your wage. You don't need money, Josh. It's all made up. Here, let me just write you your wage this week. There you go.
So IOUs, you don't mind just a third-hand IOU now, do you? Push this off for a couple weeks. Honest, just cash it next month. It should be fine. But just double check with me before you do. Just
That's pretty cool, though, isn't it? If you had a boss that's like awake, it's a hell of a bond you get with people like that, and that's good to have that with someone in position that they could sack you.
well, it was because it was just sort of like we are here at Iron Realm. He felt it. He's like, man, it is so cool to actually be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody about this stuff, and have them not think you're absolutely crazy. Somebody who gets it, somebody who can, contribute to an actual conversation about this stuff. That's just really awesome.
Has he ever listened to you?
Oh, I doubt it. No, I'm not that vocal
Have you
necessarily.
told him?
He knows that I do this show. Yeah, he knows that I do
Cool.
a morning show and a live morning radio show.
Man, if I knew someone did a live morning radio show around here, then I would be tuning in just to say, just curiosity and everything. Definitely, he's going to be listening. So hello to Josh's boss. Give him a pay rise. It's only money.
Right? It's not real. It's just paper they print. Give him lots of it.
He'll give you some iron coin back.
That's right. I've got millions, tens of millions of iron coin.
Right, I'm ready. Thank you.
Sweet.
Okay, so yeah, it's on screen. I'll press play. So I think actually just before I think
You
this
won't
will
be sharing
start.
it with us, will you?
No, we're just gonna.
Well, let's look. We found something out this week that sharing sounds that made no difference but seemed to work. So let me try it first. Share screen. But there is a little bit of singing, I think, which Walt will appreciate. So anyway, here you go, guys.
Hold on to this for a little longer.
Can you hear that?
Take another trip around the sun. Now, I think they're talking about the
Scoot on the
delusion.
live stream.
Actually, the trip around
Yeah,
the sun.
that was it.
Anyway, I really wanted to. I really want to, I've been a little
we
bit
heard
quiet
what you said
lately
for a second.
for reasons that I'll talk about
Yeah,
in the
that's
fullness
very
of
nice.
time. But I just wanted to say that I'm, still the Truth Talks are absolutely alive and well. We've got some promo coming up. A very good friend of mine is going to do a promo video for us in the next day or two. And it's the last Thursday of this month. Yeah. At the Vanbrugh pub as usual. We're going to kick off a little early, 6 o'clock. And we want to give people an opportunity to come and do some, the open mic action. Come and reflect on their own true story. You know, just like 5 minutes or 7 minutes, I suppose, something like that, for folks to kind of come and say what they want to say. Yeah, just give everybody a little platform to end the year and maybe do some conscious chit chat afterwards. Cosmic Cat's very keen to have a knees up of some sort, but you know, it's kind of the day after Christmas, the day after Christmas kind of day, and everybody's going to be either feeling very heavy. Yeah, just give everybody a little platform to end the year and maybe do some conscious. Sorry about the sirens coming out, but very noisy. Yeah, sorry about everything. And so it's going to be quite cool if you are in London and you've had the relatives to come visit and they're exhausted hearing about how it's impossible that water can curve and bend and stuff like that. Then, you know, come on down to Truth Talks at the Vanbrugh in Greenwich, because
one of you knew
we've got plenty to talk about and plenty to share. Oh yeah, and thanks to Adam Meakin, we got 20 or so gifts for the first people that come through the door. Fluoride free gifts for 2018 or 2019, I should say. Yeah. So that's that on that side of things. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was over.
So I'll keep it short and sweet and say we'll see you a bit later. I hope you're well, and thanks for stopping by. If you stop by,
I think it's done.
They hadn't, but it was just saying
really badly.
But virtually, yeah.
That's completely cocked my feed up. Silence now. We've really got to sort this shit out, man.
Well, you'll have to put a link in the info box.
Yeah, that won't cure the 3 minutes of silence. Anyway, come along.
Quite.
Move it on. How long have we been going?
It would have all been fine if you'd have muted your mics.
Nuka-Cola in the house. What's up?
There we go. But yeah, shout out to Dave and good luck at the event, mate.
Flying the plane, you're serving the coffees, you're cleaning the toilets, you're cooking the ready meals. It's too much, man.
What?
You. Wizard of Ozing it.
Oh, I have no idea what you're on about.
We're just paying no mind to the man behind the curtain, trying to pull all the levers and the buttons and turn the knobs to make things go the way they need to go. But sometimes there's just too many levers and too many buttons and too many knobs.
See, you got it, Josh, because you got one job to do: be here and make sure it's live. But who is making sure it's live? Is that you, Josh, or Adam?
It's not me. I've not made sure we're live. Other than the fact that we have people in chat, I have no idea the fact that we're live. I could not verify.
I can confirm we are live.
Yes, I'm over on our YouTube channel now in the chat. I see we are live. Yes. Welcome to everyone just now joining us. I see Paul on the plane hopped in there. Nathan Oakley, welcome, sir. Globehead No More. D has shown up. I see Nuka-Cola is here. Welcome. Glad to see you guys.
Hey,
Duma?
Is Duma there? Shout out Duma. Time, bro. Hey, guys, do you like the new logo? I've been fiddling. I made a new logo this week.
I saw that. That's very, very snazzy. Sorry, don't mind my dogs. They're apparently going to choose to bark at something now.
Where's the logo? Is it in the chat?
I know, that's what I'm doing. That's why I got quiet. I'm looking for the logo. I'm going to have to go forward, I guess. Refresh my YouTube
the screen. The screen now, it should be.
All right, well, I don't keep the show going.
On Skype, you mean?
I'm only there for the...
No, on YouTube, man.
I'm only there for
YouTube?
This
It'll
is
crash.
classic IRM. I love it.
It's like how to work a computer.
It's just a train
We're
wreck.
struggling, aren't we? We're struggling to
Anyway,
make the first hour really dull.
Let's get
To get rid of the ballers. There's a tactic.
Somebody's interviewing a PhD dude. You know, just relax.
Oh my goodness.
Well, let's listen into it. As
No, this is
everyone's
the
completely
Hey, I have an
distracted
idea.
by
I
shit.
made a video from our show we had on TFR with Martin Liedtke, and I just got it ready, and I was going to put it up, just throw it in there, but we could actually premiere it live. You ready? No.
How long is it?
2 hours.
3.5 hours.
2 hours.
Hey,
it's the
Martin
first
liked your bit of
full
artwork,
show.
Walt, didn't he?
I saw he used it. I was liking that. Yes, I saw he used it. So thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We had a great show. It was amazing. So if you haven't heard it, it will be up here on this channel. It'll be over there on my Flat Earth Head channel. You'll find it. And in all seriousness, I put up one last week to premiere it and then had roofers and everything going on and completely missed my own premiere. So we could throw it up there tomorrow and, oh, wait, I may be roped into shopping tomorrow. If we do it early enough, we could put that video up and actually hang out with everybody in the chat and watch it all together.
We could replay a TFR Ironworks show right at 4 a.m. on a Saturday.
Yeah, make everybody get up like we do.
Sorry, Walt.
Hey.
Why did you miss your own premiere? A date rate drop.
Oh, no. Stayed up too late, and then roofers showed up way too early, and then
Roofers.
Roofers, not
Oh,
roofers.
you've been experimenting.
No, roofers, repairmen, handymen,
Sorry.
lads on my roof.
He keeps getting the bunk
Talking
ones.
about
Always wakes up alone.
So you're talking about a dog?
trying to get a show back, and it just keeps derailing. Oh my goodness.
Converging derailing.
Oh, well, at least we're all derailing together. Welcome, Sarah, Christina.
Welcome, Sarah, Christina. No kidding. I haven't seen you in chat in a minute.
I know, right?
What the hell are you doing here? There's a debate with a PhD on the other channel.
Shush, nobody knows. We're all here.
Someone knows. It went from 15 watching to 14.
Uh-oh.
I've been
That
on
was me,
some proper
sorry.
shows this week. It's been quite good.
Tell us about it, Adam.
I went on Ranty's show. He has like this real show where people talk flat Earth. It was really good.
And what did you talk about?
About flat Earth.
Can you elaborate?
Well, I can. I will a bit because that's kind of it's been.
Yeah.
I don't know. Outside of the topic of the individual pictures and stuff, been interesting. I met this week in terms of kind of seeing what the ballers have resorted to. They've kind of resorted to giving us little puzzles to solve that are clearly on a flat plane, but you've got to figure out how they've taken the photo, what they've done to make it look like they could possibly be, other than obviously only using a perspective denying curvature calculator. You know what I mean? And getting the maths wrong. But it's getting intriguing now whereas before there was at least analysing a random picture, they appear now to be setting up photographs that appear to give mathematics that demonstrate a ball. Kind of like hunting for more soundly photos, but in this case it's kind of, rather than optical, it appears to be how can you angle your camera. So yeah, that was the kind of crux of it. Riley and the likes have been engaged with quite a few flat earthers. What's the guy's name? The physics teacher. I forgot his name.
Cats or something?
Yeah. So engaged with. Did you see that guy, mate? I think somebody's having a breakdown, right? He had one of these response videos, and he makes his point, and then he spins in his little spinny chair like some deranged schoolmaster, tapping his fingers.
Well, he is a teacher, isn't he?
Well, I know, but you know when you think actually somebody's like really angry and they've just done a presentation and they're so pumped It was a very odd thing to watch. Particularly his eyes as he span in the chair. It kind of probably shows where they're at. They're not interested in the truth. They're interested in destroying Riley. Destroy Riley.
Fight the flat Earth.
It's become personal, has it?
Oh, it certainly was strange. Watch it. I mean, I'd link it in the chat, but
can't be asked.
I'm too busy doing other things. But I recommend it's in one of his response videos this week, and like I say, very odd behaviour. Almost, probably is Nathan in the chat. He'll be able to describe it in its full psychological evaluation, I would have.
Bring up a clip.
I was on there. That was it's kind of what's playing out, isn't it? At the moment.
Bring up a clip.
Demanded sod.
For next week.
That'll do. Old.
Fucking retard.
I had a chat with Alan B in the week as well.
Who's he?
He's the baller, kind of distractor, obfuscating.
Sounds
pretends
like
that he's Alan Bennett.
A conversation.
Well, pretends he's Alan Bennett, the writer.
He?
Wrote History Boys.
You've gone over this about 3 times before, and years gone past. I'm
I'm
pretty
only
sure. I still don't know who
everyone listening knows it's only for you we're doing this.
Okay. Who's he pretend to be? What's his name?
Alan Bennett.
Alan Bennett, right. Okay.
But, so again, you see,
who Alan Bennett is.
Well, this is what it's descended to again, isn't it? This kind of level of distraction and obfuscation and avoiding the pertinent points, trying to stay away from the conclusions that a conversation leads to, and basically distraction from any honest debate. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's very noticeable. I mean, you're starting to listen and now going to have yourself sat up in the front room able to listen to Nathan all next week, so you'll be able to.
Well, the dog will, that's for sure. I've found Nathan's debates a fantastic distraction from the dog barking at every cat walking past. And yeah, because he's sitting there waiting for the family to come home, of course. So he's hyper alert. But yeah, I put Nathan on in the background while I'm pottering around, and it seems to help.
Do you reckon
Nathan will be happy about that.
That the dog thinks that actually what's happened is Dad's forced the kids and mum into the battle bus. They're living there now, and now we live in here.
He's probably thought that I forced them away by listening to flat Earth debates and cretin ballers coming in.
Driven them off. It's about him time, just the two of us.
He's sitting there thinking, what the fuck are they debating? It's clearly flat and stationary. Why is there even an argument?
Before we do more Flat Earth again, I was touched this week. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, because Zach's reunion I thought was beautiful this week, mate. That was... I noticed how much more fuss you got from the other guy's dog as well. It was just as happy to see you.
Yeah, Buddy. Yeah, Buddy is a really, really good dog, and him and Hank were just thick as thieves. But yeah, he's a big lover, big teddy bear, and yeah, he was happy to see me too. That was nice. But no, yeah, that was.
I played that for my dog as well.
I haven't felt that way in a while. Like, so excited, you know. This will be like going home to see my mom the next time I do, and all that kind of stuff. It'll be that feeling again. But it's been a while since I've done anything like that. It was neat. Just the sensation that I got. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, my dog enjoyed it.
Control, you know. Yeah, he's following me around right now, everywhere I go.
This whole time you're having is going to be neat when you look back on it, Zach. You know what I mean?
Yes, it will.
Yeah. Yep, oops. Air conditioner kicked on. Yeah, this is, one of my dreams for a long time. This is a big part of my bucket list. Was to go drive out to the desert and see if, that was where I should be. And I did way more than just that. It's been awesome so far. I'm not even close to being done. Yeah, I took my walking shoes off for a little while. No more wandering around right now. I want to learn some stuff, teach some stuff, see what happens. Yeah, it's fun.
I saw you shared your schoolyard with me earlier.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My new classroom.
So explain to anyone who's listening what the deal is you've got now.
Oh, he's going to teach me how to weld.
Cool.
And a lot of automotive stuff as well. He's got his own shop, stuff like that. Really educated guy when it comes to all this kind of stuff. And in return, I'm going to teach him and his family how to build a garden, plant the garden, take care of it, build a compost pile, can your food.
Symbiotic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Good.
You're going to weld a big brush guard up on your truck. Maybe get some steel grates over the windows. We'll call you the Nomad Max.
What? You should make welded. You should make welded hats.
Bros. Oh my. Hey Zach, you were talking about your mom a minute ago, and it brought to mind something that Nuka-Cola there in chat just talked about. You said you had her look for your channel and couldn't find it, or couldn't find your videos, or
yeah, that kind of freaked her out.
Nuka-Cola.
That's my little joke for Duma.
Duma.
He wrote earlier, YouTube has totally killed Flat Earth. Every time I get someone to look into it after I debate them, YouTube gives them such shit recommendations. I've noticed lately, if I go watch anything that has a vague semblance to some kind of flat Earth, even the mud flood stuff, immediately afterward, it will give me Vsauce's Flat Earth video. It will give me one of Sci-Fi Dan's video. It'll give me a Soundly Fuck Off video. Yeah, it's really gotten to the point now where there's no point in even trying to point someone to go research Flat Earth on their own. You literally will have to hand feed them links and, where you want them to see something. Because if they start doing it on their own, they're going to fall down that Flat Earth Society hole way farther than anyone was 2 or 3 years ago when we jumped in.
Now, this is the great thing about YouTube's playlist feature. If you have videos that you think people should see, rather than hoping they run across them when you recommend they research Flat Earth, build a playlist. Build a playlist for each part of Flat Earth that you think people need help with their stumbling blocks. And then just give them a link to that playlist, and it will bring up all the videos in whatever playlist you have. That way they don't have to go searching and find it. You don't have to hopefully go searching and finding it more than once. Build a playlist.
Cracking idea.
You could just tell them to take about 2.5 weeks out of their life and just watch the IRL Media 24/7 channel.
In a perfect world, right?
But
that would be an amazing thing. But
I don't know what it amount to.
Is it up now?
Yeah. Should we have a look? Because that's shit a bus time, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Inception, dude. This is Inception. We're doing it.
I doubt it, but let's try.
I've got several playlists.
Right.
On my channel.
Selenian there in chat has some good playlists. Share them with us, please. We would definitely like to see them.
And this is something we've talked about doing that we really need to focus our attention back on. Is
Back
sort
on
of
our site.
the basics. Well,
Oh,
getting
it's
back
gone
to
down
basics,
again, bastard.
the
The
flat Earth.
bugger.
Have you really? They messed us up. Okay, but yeah, Josh, we need to get back on that whole collecting the goodies.
They've
Back
gone
to our
off to
site.
watch my playlist. Oh dear.
Well,
Dog
yeah,
started
I-
scratching the couch. Come on, guys. Let's move it
Everybody
along.
in chat that saw this idea, like
Max.
Duma there, actually, this is brilliant. So I'm going to go to my. I had started something like that back on my account called Truthseeker on my little playlist, but then we started this, and it's just sitting there. I don't even know how old the stuff in it must be at this point. I'll go check while you're playing that new stuff on. Oh, it's down. That's right. Darn it. All right.
Yeah, it's gone.
We're getting closer and closer to watching this Nathan Martin video that I made. I'm looking back through chat here trying to find something else that somebody said.
It's bizarre because before the show, we literally had enough topics to cover 6 hours. And then we go live, and there's
I'm so tired of
nothing.
space lettuce. You just don't know.
No,
It's
no, nothing to do with space.
ad
lettuce.
nauseum at this point.
I agree.
It's become intense. There's actually, it's noticeable now. Actually, there was one on. I came down from the shed and sat there just with Marie, just having a chat, and the TV was on. And it's interesting now how they're building it into game shows. So space lettuce question in game shows and the likes, and even to the point of lying. So the one I noticed tonight was who was the astronaut that got that punched an interviewer for calling him a liar.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Right. As opposed to who was the astronaut that punched a man after he challenged him to put his hand on the Bible and swear he'd been to the moon. And even the guy, they went, yeah, I don't blame him. Along those lines, it's really noticeable, actually. Do you know what I mean? How, as you were saying, like somebody's gone to YouTube and they're given 100 great videos that you're not really interested in, will debunk it. Well, it appears they're putting shit in now into the subconscious. Do you know what I mean? So that I forgot the guy's name that did the video, Walt.
Bart Sabral. Sabral. I'm not sure how to say his last name correctly.
I think it's Sabrel, but I'm not sure.
Sabral.
It just depends on the emphasis of those syllables.
Emphasis, exactly.
Yeah,
Changing history, mate.
bro.
Yeah, he's still putting stuff out. I think I subbed to his YouTube channel.
I do, and he puts out some interesting things. It's unfortunate that he jumped in early and got a bad taste in his mouth for Flat Earth.
Yep. But that's what fanaticism will do to people. But I'm just as guilty of it as anybody. When I first got into Flat Earth, I was
Ranty, a bit ranty. Shout
I
out
thought
to
it'd make
Ranty.
a great bat with which to smack people over the head with and try to wake them up a little bit. Which, of course, is never the best way to do it.
Yes, sir. You can lead a horse to Flat Earth, but you can't make him fall off the ball. I'm trying to find a picture to share with you at some, excuse me. I'll check who that is in a moment. Thought I had that off. Anyway, I'm going to send you a picture in a moment, Adam, to show us all.
Well, now you're doing that bloody noise. Did you see in our chat earlier?
We missed it earlier. I know.
Sir,
I was still trying
telling
to
it
catch
he's
him
got
out
to
for
mow
nap.
the lawn, so he can't join us.
I know. It better be a landscaping job out of this world. Man, where's that picture?
I've got to mow the lawn because there's a storm coming. It's kind of like ball of logic, that is. Mr. Rob, get your stuff together. Get on.
Sorry this is taking forever and you're hearing every click. I should be scrolling, but hey, I thought it was right there at the top. Apparently it's not where I thought I put it. Oh, my goodness. There it is. All right, let me send this to you, Adam.
What you doing?
Live production. What you doing? I put it in the chat for this live call. It is a photo that has been given to us.
This is like Nathan's show in the week, right? I joined in on Thursday, I think it was. And
are you kidding? It won't let me do it that way. Okay, sorry, go.
Nathan's got some guy that just comes in and wants to talk existential stuff, and I was close to hanging myself. Honestly,
This is nothing like Nathan's show.
No, I'm not on about that. I'm not saying I'm that close to hanging myself.
All right, I dropped it there. Yeah. Oh, that's not the right one. Damn it. All right, hang on. That's not it.
What's that picture of?
That's the show picture from this morning that I made after the show was over to put as the description. It just used the picture I'm trying to find. So in this small window, it looked like the picture I was looking for.
You've been having fun with blending modes, haven't you?
I've been playing. Yes, I have. It's fun. There's the real picture I'm looking for. You can show everybody that picture and tease our TFR show if you'd like. But the real picture is the one I just sent. Okay, this is from the Parker Space Probe.
Wait there. I can't respond that fast.
No, I'm just trying to set it up when they all start looking at it. So this is from the Parker Space Probe that we sent to the sun, to the big old ball of gas. This is their model, not reality. In the big old ball of gas that just burns and singes and sends all that lovely sun-burning heat our way, but it's a gabillion miles across, and the discharge is just, oh my goodness. So it's headed that way. It's not going to melt. It's going to send back lovely photographs like this one. Are we there yet? Am I there with you?
I've got the Grinch.
There? Oh, you're showing the wrong one. Okay, show the Grinch.
No, I've done. I'm off. Wait there. Just one more little tweak.
Right, that's our show from this morning. We talked about the Grinch comment that's coming every Christmas now that we didn't know about. That's a tradition. Metallica's Master of Puppets album was the best album of the 80s. We talked about that. And then I used the Parker picture.
Is it the one with all the little circles and a big sort of jet stream on the left? Right.
Yes, that's the one. Okay, so we sent this thing to study and send us accurate things to measure the sun and record of this event that we're going to the sun, and we get a picture back with a little dot and a big smear of light and some black dots that we're told to ignore. Those black dots, forget those. Those aren't real. Just that one lit up dot that we got right that we could render quickly enough. Whatever. That's the real thing. Those other things are just artifacts. Oh, and those other smaller dots, but yeah, ignore that. That's not real. Those are artifacts. But the planet right there, that dot, that's the real shit. It's really gotten to the point now where it's not even funny. It's not even ridiculous. It's just how blind, people, do you have to be to think this is in any kind of way real? Or it could just be me. I'm watching too many YouTube videos.
No, I'd say it's real if it's a photograph. It's just, it's not reasonable, but it's not a photograph, but it's not reasonable to extrapolate what you are told from whatever it is, whatever type of image it is. It's just.
What am I looking at? Well, what are they saying that little
They're saying
yellow circle is?
The bright dot is Mercury. That's the planet Mercury. But all those other dots, those are just artifacts.
Don't exist. Yeah.
Those are artifacts.
Clearly.
I mean, you can see them.
Spots.
Right. That's it. The universe is old after all. 8 spots.
And the big glowy orange thing behind it.
I think the sun farted.
Yeah.
And it might have lit its fart because you know how.
Well, we were talking about that earlier.
Guys like to get on.
The sun should look more like a comet if it's streaking through the universe.
There we go. We found its tail. We found the sun's tail. It is a comet streaking.
What does Suspicious Observer make of all of this crap then?
I'm not sure.
I saw him say today that it is not a ball of gas. And this guy was like strictly going by whatever NASA said, whatever how many years ago. Yeah, this was.
I used to watch him daily.
Yeah, me too. And then Flat Earth came around, and I was like, oh well, that all goes
Yeah.
out the window a little bit. Yeah.
Most of my bookmarks went when Flat Earth came around.
So who is this guy? Because I don't know. I just
Suspicious observer.
yeah.
He's like, it reminds me of sort of Red's rhetoric in voice, but talks, really fast and really informative about everything universe, using everything provided like Soho and the rest. Zach, you can probably explain it better than me.
Yeah, all the NASA satellites, all the NASA data, their the electromagnetic field of Earth and how it was acting. I was really big into all the comments that were supposed to be coming through that never did anything. But yeah, I was watching him every single day. It was all about space weather.
It was a really cool channel.
Yeah, it was
if
great.
you
It covered
believed in
everything
all the balls in space nonsense, but when that sort of falls away, it becomes a sort of navel gazing exercise, really.
Yeah, but he came out today and said that the sun is not a burning ball of gas, which is a big step for him, I think. I think he's jumping onto the sun is liquid.
Yeah, I was going to say, I assume he's seen that video that is doing the rounds, which is saying the sun is liquid.
I've put it on screen, guys. Dr. Pierre Robitaille. It's all on the YouTube if you want to use one of your 3 screens.
Just make work for me.
Before we leave the picture, I would just want to let you know that smear is a coronal streamer known as a helmet streamer.
A helmet streamer.
It's a helmet streamer. That sounds like
discharge.
I know you didn't make that up.
I did not make it up. It's a loop of electrically charged coronal gases and plasma connecting 2 regions of opposite polarity of the sun on the sun, extended by the solar wind. I told you it was a sun fart. Ha!
Big shout out to Travis in chat. I saw your message actually, sir, about your interview with Crow 777, which is always awesome.
Yes.
Very strange that partly way through his end suddenly went goofy and the audio got a little bit tinny. I'm not sure entirely how best to fix that. The next step, I think, would be depending on what software you're using to edit the audio. If it's Audacity, if it's the free stuff, I might be able to help you out there. Anything else is going to be a bit out of my league, except for the sort of crossover stuff you can also do in Audition or insert DAW of your choice. But
I think you do yourself a disservice, Josh. I think if let him dial in and fiddle with your settings, he'll he'll rescue me often enough, pal.
Well, I'll tell you what, Travis, if you want to shoot me over a copy of it, if you have just Crow's side or if you have your whole thing, I don't know how you recorded it. If you recorded each line separately, probably not. I don't think that's how you have it set up. But send me the audio. I'll see what I can do, and I'll shoot it back over to you after I release it on our channel. No, that was a joke. I wouldn't release it. But yeah, I'll try to clean it up a little bit. I don't know exactly what I could do that you haven't tried, but it's always worth a shot. Many hands makes light work.
Is that interview out now, is it?
I don't think so. I don't think he's released it yet. I think he's still compiling. I think once he gets, he's going to get a, again, I don't know. Travis isn't chat. I'm just guessing here.
What's his channel?
He is the Plain Truth now. I'm not sure that's what he's going to be releasing them under. I think he's going to be releasing his specific podcasts under something different.
Okay, cool. Shout out to you, Travis.
Absolutely.
Hope you're doing well, mate.
Speaking of interviews, before I completely forget, because I will, I noticed that Karen B put out her side of the interview, the BBC interview that she had told us she was preparing.
Yeah, well
I
done.
started it, haven't watched it all the way through, but definitely go give it a watch because it shows you what a hatchet job these people did. It's insane how much they had there that they didn't use.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it just yet, but it's on top of my playlist, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. She definitely handles herself so well. Shout out Karen B.
So
I have that Christmas comic picture that I sent as well there, Adam, if you'd like to throw that up. Oh, wait, you had something you were about to show. My bad.
Yeah, Adam, talk us through what the crux of the video was. You're serving
Have we lost
coffee and
Adam?
cleaning the toilet
Have
again, aren't you?
Have we lost Adam? Him and the
Oh,
wife are out on the town.
Oh, just got to land.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry, I forgot. I was going to say, first of all, I got a smiley face in the chat yesterday from Karen B, because after watching the interview, mate, I typed one thing. I said, that shows you how to handle the BBC.
Absolutely. So brilliantly done.
And that'll show John Savage how to handle the BBC, I think is what I wrote, something like that.
Can't wait.
Mate,
Wait.
you should listen to it. Mate, I've never heard a more composed, calm, and correct response that you go, oh, it couldn't be any better. Can't think of anything better 2 minutes later. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what, if anyone is tempted to talk to these assholes at the BBC, then if this does nothing, I just hope everyone records their conversations, preferably both ways, which
always record.
Yeah.
Always record.
Well, when talking to these guys, without a doubt. Otherwise, you're just dangling.
Did you guys
there.
hear it at all? I know you hadn't yet.
Karen B's response or Karen B's full thing.
The interview.
Not yet. No.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about on the show a little while ago.
I heard the interview. I haven't heard her.
No. I heard the full. The BBC version.
Right, I heard the hatchet job, but I just saw.
Well, I can't wait to hear her side of the story.
Maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes in, and then it was like, well, I got to go to bed for the show this morning.
But she wouldn't have a side of the story if she hadn't had the nous to record it. So absolute props to Karen for that. I wish Martin Kenny and who's the other guy? I can't remember, with the beard, had done the same. I wish they'd recorded their interactions with This Morning and all the rest of it. I bet Nathan recorded his interview with Vice.
I will say that our local radio station recently went under new ownership, and I think they revamped some of their podcasting and everything else. So now I'm pretty sure the only way to get my stuff on the radio is the few things that I do have uploaded to YouTube here under the channel in our, Iron Rail Media Outreach.
Did you get copies?
Yes, I have all audio copies of my appearances.
Very good, sir.
But I didn't record anything on my end when I went there. Because it was all live radio. I just went after the fact and downloaded their podcast version of what I did on live radio.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I probably would have taken a dictaphone the first couple of times, but then realised you could download it afterwards. And
I was so nervous. I was lucky to get notes in there that I could actually manage to read from and form cohesive sentences, cogent thoughts. It was pretty nerve-wracking. Yeah,
that's why I record it. It's because it's in nerve-wracking situations. Because that's the time you don't remember what happened. Excuse me.
That's for sure. But I again had one of those exceptional and rare good experiences with sort of a major media outlet.
And you were on fire. Has to be said. You sounded so calm
Absolutely. Hearing you say what you said a moment ago about your experience was kind of like, really, you had it handled so well. Oh my goodness.
Everything from the call where I could barely breathe. I was hyperventilating and couldn't speak, which even happened a few times in the live because I have a certain cadence and I know, how I talk. And when I start hyperventilating, I can't finish my sentences the way I should be able to. And I'm having to take breaths during words when I shouldn't. And it gets really goofy. And
God, sounds like me just now, but I just choked on a reefer. But no, it doesn't come across that way at all, mate. It came across like you just sitting in the bath, just chatting away. Nice and relaxed.
It's the way I feel now. I'm definitely much more relaxed now. I would like to head over to their new studios at some point and reintroduce myself and say hello.
Screw them. Why don't you invite them on here?
I've considered that.
We're so huge now.
The host of the show, I'm not sure would do it because he's, Mr. Big Time. He operates from an actual contract. So he's not like an employee of the studio. He is a contract host who operates under different rules than most other sort of the other daytime hosts, just because he really is a pretty big deal as far as, there's no better Cinderella story in radio except maybe Howard Stern's classic story. But Dave Glover was pretty amazing too, as far as just come from nothing to being the number one daytime radio host in a relatively large market on a political talk radio station who's really not very political at all, or runs very middle of the road in a very conservative listener base radio station. But that being said, he was very open-minded to having me come on and talk some really weird shit.
Yeah, I listened to all of them. I think they were really cool. That's before I knew you.
Yeah, that was years ago, wasn't it? Jesus, 3 years ago, 4 years ago at this point.
That was maybe? The reason why we met, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it sure was. It all happened. Right. Yep, and they had listeners that were on Twitter, and I was only a Facebook guy, so I thought maybe I would address some of the listeners' questions on Twitter too. So I got a Twitter account and started, tweeting flat Earth stuff in relation to what I was doing on the show. And I guess that's where
3.5 years later, here we are.
This is it, right? So, what can we get some numbers? Can we get some numbers on this? Because I get confused. You say 3.5, 4, or 2.5 to say years ago. Like, when you guys invited me to join, when was that? Exactly. I know it should be in my diary.
2.5 years ago, I think.
And this all like John and I and James and oh man, let me think who, Donald Stott and Hacksaw and a lot of folks were early on trying to work this whole thing out on Twitter before you guys were around. And that was, I know what, 3 years ago, John, maybe 3.5.
Well, March 2015 was when I realised. And that's when I put out my first tweet, March 31st, 2015.
It had to be right around that same time that we all started.
Well, that's about 3.5, 3 years.
And that was in the day of the 20 people in a room all just yapping back and forth. And then suddenly some religious thing or some wrong idea or just madness would blow it all apart. We'd reform another group over here trying to figure out, let's go to do a show. Let's do a show. What are we doing this silly shit for?
Is that you coming out, John? So the first point that you're making contact, not the first point you're discovering, but the first point you're engaging.
I think my tweet was a link to Eric DeBay's interview on the Higher Side Chats, and it just said, "What if?" ?
But Nathan Oakley, nice.
Well, you don't want to completely go hang your balls out in Target on your first tweet straight out. I had to swap accounts, of course.
I did something similar. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was very like,
Well,
I've still
that's
got
what
a very
Nathan's.
main line, straight down the middle, 9/11, all of that account. But yeah, no, this, yeah.
What
This one-
year? Sorry, what year did Mark Sargent come out with the clues?
That was 2015 as well. That was.
Was it 2015?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was early 2015.
Not 14?
No. It was something like May 2015. Sargent came out with his, and then Jaron started up, and I mean, pretty much the only people that were flat Earth were Eric and Matt Boylan.
Who's
See,
that
I
star?
never heard of Mark Sargent till good year. I don't know why, but I never saw any of his stuff till after I'd met you guys. Really, it was you guys that mentioned him to me. It's weird.
We had
isn't
him
it?
on, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's weird how say YouTube works.
You might want to stop your screen share.
No, there's the the thing we started rambling about hours ago. With the sun, the bit of flat Earth stuff.
Yeah.
That's been running since. So that was all it was. It's the video of the talk that the guy was making that bases it up. But yeah, you're right. Apologies, Mr. Savage.
You got there in the end. No, it just gone through several autoplays. You can end up with all sorts of shit with that one.
Who knows? Tartaria. See, you see where my playlists. I'll tell you what, mate. It's really worth a dig,
You're
guys.
better at crowbarring that into a conversation than I am talking about plumbing.
I'm getting, you know what I'm getting like, John? With flat earthers, I'm getting like a flat earther with ballers. Right, when I move with the presence of flat earthers, I'm starting to try and crowbar mud flood into flat earth conversations. I must be very fucking annoying.
I'll put up with your mud flood if you put up with my plumbing.
Yeah, well, they're both relevant, I think, pal.
Well, water finding its level is certainly relevant in plumbing, in a vented system, definitely.
You took it away again. It's gone.
I never understood how water got from my cylinder to the taps by going up. I never understood that. I just didn't make sense to me, but yeah, it makes perfect sense now. Anyway. And your header tank. You see, I always thought how with a vent a pipe.
Right, mud flood. Don't
how
you
could
start
the water be up there? What's pushing it up there? And of course, water always finds its level. So that is what's pushing your water around your system. Go on.
Now you brought it back. I've got to apologise again. You brought it really well back to flat Earth. That was beautiful.
It is so relevant. Probably not to go any further, but you're the one with the map, so guide us down a road.
I've took it off, but no. Look, seriously, you've got to look into it. It's when they talk about how long's the ball been around. Well, the reality is
about mud flat.
Yeah. If you want to bring it to flat Earth, it's 200 years, mate. It's the beginning of the 1800s that the ball can only come in, because that's when they start writing everything that we're reading, or putting it together and convoluting it. And with the exception, I would say,
1600s. I
Oh.
thought books were from then that Jaren couldn't date them any further
Right.
back
So
than
the
1600.
the books that we're allowed to read that predate that, I would suggest are the approved ones, the ones that
Okay.
don't contradict, that the information in there gives the history or information that doesn't contradict
school
with the
books.
paradigm. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah, because you got to remember the books back then. A lot of them were being. Well, when was Gutenberg? That was the 1600s, wasn't it?
what I would
But
say,
prior
flat
to
earthers are familiar, right, with maps, and there's such a huge area that I've never understood that is north of China and east of Russia. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, man.
Hold on, east of Russia is Alaska.
No, not directly. There's a hell of a lot in between.
But that's still
the
Russia,
point.
though, isn't it?
No.
North of China is Russia, yeah?
Well, okay. You want to get, I don't know which map you're going to use. From the Russian basic territories, I'm talking what would be described Mongolia nowadays, and then this strange area of desolation where Malg and Magog is on the old maps, which is the other side of Alaska, the side of the peninsula, that area.
Right. Well, that's still Russia, but you're talking about far eastern Russia.
It's classified now as Russia, yeah.
Right, got you.
And that, if you look into it, is the creep of what's classified as Russia is interesting between what used to be classified as Russia, what's classified as Cossack, and how history reclassifies these territories. But that sudden creep towards modernity, where that full expanse is now classified as Russia, that's a really good tell that Russia and America are in bed with each other, because they've taken ownership of that whole area as if it's nothing. And if that ain't collusion, I don't know what is. You know, it's huge. It's huge. We're talking Azerbaijan or Uzbekistan, all these areas, all these now desolate, deserty, strange areas that are only just becoming properly habitable again. I think it shows where our history came from, the history we've been fed. If you start to get a grasp of when the reality of we can really trace the history back, how much it maps up.
So when's Martin's book coming out then? He needs to put this into some sort of book format, or a format that doesn't require listening to 4,000 hours.
100 million trillion hours, right?
Because I still can't get my finger on what exactly is being said and what, because I don't know, at some point people shy away from saying what, you know, I don't know. I'm just not getting a clear picture on it. I understand it all, you know. I understand the concept that there was some sort of flood that left a load of mud and houses and office blocks and things. You can see the evidence for it, and I can see the evidence for that sort of thing, as though the pavement and the road or whatever outside has been raised up. But yeah, the rest is the sort of link with the giants, the origins of man, species. This has been done several times over. I don't know where a lot of that's coming from.
That's all in the Matrix films, isn't it, as well? That's part of that's kind of from Woodflood again, that symbology in the Matrix, that there have been a number of resets. It's not just one. There are a few of them. Is
that where the evidence coming from, the Matrix?
No, I'm just saying that from looking into the Matrix gives you lots of great clues you know what I mean? Along all sorts of stuff.
I think
How do you
that's
like
our
the
cue, mate.
Oh, well,
You
there's
like
a
that?
cue.
I do like that. It means shut the
love
fuck up.
That is
We've got
amazing.
4 minutes till we hit our hour and a half mark.
Oh, 4 minutes. We could wander everywhere.
Shout out Flat Earth Audio for that heads up.
Right, let's do the housekeeping. Say hello to everyone in the chat and put your crap out there. TFR.
Well,
and
I've got
where
a quick.
to
If
get
we've got
us.
4 minutes, let me give you a quick shout out though, because I've been
You put your
chatting.
crap out there, John.
Research Einstein shitbag. There you go. The plain truth, that Jaren episode was frustrating. Good. I shall find out when I download it.
We're not alone. Oh shit.
Well, when's your album coming out?
Walt should be on
Working on it.
stage.
Working on it.
I think there's one hour.
Zach, we've heard nothing from you. Are you still there, mate?
Yeah, I'm just sitting back, relaxing.
Yeah, just not putting your name
The
on
dude's
this
gonna lay
episode,
down.
are you?
It's gonna be over. He's gonna be asleep.
No, I'm sitting up. I'm not laying down. I'm definitely sitting upright.
Well, that's good
No,
because
come-
we're going to take a break right now. So we need you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for round number 2.
Yeah, I'll be here.
In which we'll cover everything that we had planned to cover in round number 1. Won't we, Adam?
We're just stalling, waiting for all the other live streams to round out and finish up so we can get there.
That's right, because according to Josh this morning, they found dark matter. When I know without a doubt, no way.
Adam, can you run down the list of things that we highlighted to cover, please? Just quickly, so people
when
know
we
that
come
we
back,
might talk about something.
It's the good stuff. We're gonna. If Zach's
Come on.
up for it,
Just talk about it.
if Zach's up for it, we're going to go through his slideshow again, just to reiterate his points with regards to Rayleigh's criterion, and I also, with regards to all the chitty chatter that's gone off this week, wanted to show a 6-minute video from Phuket Word, which I think addresses a hell of a lot of points with regards to the debate and the baller attached with these photographs that they're giving us to solve their little puzzles from the psychotic school teachers. So second half, let's maybe have a little bit of that, and I won't have to kick my chair away.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
I'm gonna mute Josh.
absolutely.
I'm ready when you are, bro. Play us out, and then I'll end the stream and all yours, bro.
Sounds good. There was one specific shout out I wanted to give. Paul on the plane over there on Truth Frequency Radio does his live show on Tuesday evenings. He recently picked up a second hour. It took him a little bit longer than I thought to realize that 1 hour isn't enough time. Billy Ray still manages to do it. Also, I don't know how he's doing 1 hour, but he's still getting away with it. I think his is limited to time. I think he'd do 2 hours in a heartbeat if he could squeeze it in. So shout out to Paul on the Plane and Billy Ray Valentine, both with shows over there on Truth Frequency Radio, Tuesdays and Sundays, respectively. You can also find Walt, Zach, and I over there on TFR on Tuesday and Friday mornings every week, starting at 4 a.m. Central. That's 10 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. We go till 6. That's a 2-hour show because we know that 1 hour is not enough. So be sure you head on over there and check us out live. TFRlive.com/chat gets you into the live chat, which is always popping. We have a few guests that only come in for our show, which is always nice. So you'll only see some people in chat during the Ironworks. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we shall round out the first segment and get into a little bit more flat earth stuff in the second segment. Stick around.
Yeah, mute up, Savage. We don't want to hear you singing.
To the ground with their chains. Oh, At you, while you defy gravity. They can be cruel and mean and a huge pain. Our heads are in the clouds now. Don't let them make it rain. A smile can be the sign they're missing out on their rainy day. They might have gravity on their side, but something's pulling us high. Got the potential to fly. Don't let them be what holds you back from this one incredible chance. They're lucky to have had a glance at you while you defy gravity. You defy gravity. They say we aren't strong enough. We don't have what it takes. I say yeah, they're wrong enough, and we'll show them someday. They might have gravity on their side, but something's pulling us high. Got the potential to fly. Oh yeah, don't let them be what holds you back from this one incredible chance. They're lucky to have had a glance at you while you defy gravity. You defy gravity. You defy gravity. Yeah, yeah. At you while you defy gravity.
Be sure to stick around. We will be right back.